we got a new Chibi review video. This one, apparently, you are the minority in the anime community now. Uh, what I can only assume is Chibi is going to be talking about how Netflix has become very used by people just to watch anime. Now, my point still stands. I believe that they're the animes that are like the mainstream ones. So like you see, I'm granted I don't really use Netflix that much, anyways. But as far as I remember, it was like the big name series were what they were focusing on. Like you're not gonna see, um, what's you're not gonna see like Togen Anki, which is one of the ones that we're currently watching. Like you're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see With You in the Rain. That's not gonna be in there. But you'll see like Dan to Dan. You'll see Konosuba. You'll see One Piece. You'll see like the Kaiju number 8. Like basically the ones that get the hype and have the big anticipation around them. So and Netflix knows that there will be viewership for it on their platform. Does not mean that they're gonna have everything, and I still feel like we're gonna have this weird dichotomy where like Crunchyroll is going to be the place to watch like most animes, and then Netflix is where you can watch all like the really popular ones. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, let's get right into it, gamers. I can't wait. I want to see what this is all about because I'm sure plenty of people watch anime on Netflix now. It's become such a big mainstream thing. So it says 50% of their worldwide users now watch anime. So that would mean 75,000 people are watching them. And yeah, I believe that. I actually do because Netflix has really invested in it, and all the other streaming sites have too. But they're not investing in like all animes, just the most popular ones.
50% of all their worldwide users now watch anime. 150 million households. Anime viewership has tripled in 5 years since 2020, and 80 to 90% watch dubbed anime, aka in English dubbed. And at the exact same time that this announcement was made, we had this announcement. Soul Leveling, the global phenomenon, is coming to Netflix as a live-action series. This is the actor that is...
I would not be happy about this. I'll be real with you. The only good live action has been the One Piece live action, man. The only good live action has been the One Piece live action. Every other live action has been terrible as of late. Like especially when they're coming from Netflix. This I would not say is a good merit. I would say this is actually kind of like them just showing that they really are just going for the cash grabs at the end of the day. They're not trying like the big IP names. They're not trying to really show all the animes or as many as they can. They're just going for the ones that they think that they can make the most money on. I feel like in general it might not work. It might work. Hey, if it does, that would be fantastic, and we have another great live action. But I'm remiss to really say with a whole smile like, "Yay, Solo Leveling is getting a live action from Netflix," because they've done so well with every other series that they've done live actions of, excluding One Piece. Literally just excluding One Piece. That's it.
Phenomenon is coming to Netflix as a live-action series. This is the actor that is going to be playing Jinwoo in the upcoming live action of Soul Leveling, and I'm just...
Man's having a Joker laugh moment. Also, hold on.
That's my reaction.
Should I move myself
like,
over? Because he's leaning.
Oh
yeah,
boy,
all right,
guys,
fine.
there's just so much to unpackage about this announcement, and the live action announcement. There's just... Before I get into that, I gotta remind everybody. 2 months ago, back in May...
Crunchyroll, more fans watch anime unsubbed than subbed. And probably in their metric, yeah. That's the thing. More fans watch anime unsubbed than subbed. Yeah, I believe it. There's a lot of people out there that are just watching the dubbed version of animes because they're a lot easier to watch. Like, let's be real. Like, Japanese people are going to listen to anime in the Japanese language, and Americans, English speakers, are going to want to listen to anime in English because it's easier to listen to, it's easier to understand. You don't have to try and like learn a new language or try and like pick up on keywords. You can kind of have it on, go in like fold some laundry or something, and like you still understand what's going on in the series. Yeah, that's obvious. I think anyone. I think as soon as anime started become more of like a globalized market and a globalized industry, that's when you really there it was like an inevitability that at some point you're going to have people from their native nations and native languages wanting to watch it in that language rather than sub. Personally, I still choose to watch in sub just out of the basis that I think that it's a little more accurate. There can be weird translation things here and there. Also, I just like the sound of like Japanese voices and characters. It just sounds really good. Uncultured swines. Hey, I say to each their own, man. If someone wants to watch anime in an English dub, I say go for it because that just makes anime a more popular industry and a more popular medium in general. That's about it. But yeah. Chibi does not like Crunchyroll. Especially because they have what has been technically a monopoly on the industry for the longest time and for streaming anime. And it's because and the reason why I said this before in the last video was because other companies didn't invest in it. Like other companies just did not invest in anime that much. There were some series here and there that you could find. Like I remember like 2010, I think, around that time you could watch like certain animes here and there, but like it wasn't like a super big catalog. And if you really wanted to like get into it, you had to go to Crunchyroll because they had the catalog, and they still do have a bigger catalog than anything that Netflix has. So if you want to go and watch like a classic anime from like the 90s or something like that, you're probably legally, the better chances of you finding it on Crunchyroll than finding it on Netflix. And that's just how it is until Netflix expands their library internally.
It was announced that most people that use Crunchyroll watch anime dubbed than subbed. It was statistically given out by Crunchyroll themselves. They told us that most people that use their site just watch dub. They do not watch it in Japanese with English subtitles. And obviously there was a lot of people that talked about this and it came as quite the shock because it's like, wait, what? Really? There's that many people that prefer to watch anime and dub instead of like the traditional Japanese audio with English subtitles. But then, now we got 2 months later that Netflix is the exact same way, and we get a statistic of the numbers to it.
Well, what do you mean in the same way? Like, they're not... Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is the third point. 80 to 90% watch dub. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I think we're looking... I don't know if Crunchyroll and Netflix use the same, like... metric, or they're looking at the exact same numbers for each side, or if they're looking internally at just the numbers for the companies. Because it would definitely be more surprising coming from a company like Crunchyroll, because they are, the insinuated with with Japanese translation, dubbing for the actual series, more than more than like English or something like that. Like you kind of expect it. It's like something that you would normally think of. Granted, I think again with the fact of it becoming a more worldwide phenomenon, there's more people watching it in just the dubbed of their own language. And notice how it says 80 to 90% watch dubbed, meaning that they're not watching. It doesn't say 80 to 90% watch English dub. They just watch dub, meaning that they're watching it in their own languages. So people in India are watching in their language. Same with people in China and in like countries in Africa. Like people will watch it in their native tongue because it's easier to understand than outside of it. Either way, that's kind of where I see is that you're gonna be watching it in your native language.
Yeah, if you've ever wanted definitive proof that you are the minority in the anime community, this is it. Like, if you are a English sub, watcher, an enjoyer, you're a minority now. You are legitimately
that's fine
someone
with me.
that is in the small
That's fine with me. I've been a minority literally my whole life. What are you talking about, man? I still am the minority. Do you know how many people I've met from South America? Very little. I like watching it in sub. I don't give a just because more people watch it in dub doesn't mean I'm gonna start watching it in dub. And that's the same. That's the same thing with like when sub was the big thing. Like if you like watching it in dub, I don't give a shit. Watch it however you want. I'll watch it in sub. And in fact, there are animes that I watch in dub, like specifically because I like it better than I like the sub. Dragon Ball being an example, Soul Eater being another example. Like I just like those series in their English language.
Fraction of the community, while the vast
Playing some bad.
majority
Nice.
will watch the dub version. Now, I'm going to say this before we go any further, okay, in this video. No hate on English dub. I do enjoy English dub from time to time. I mean, I prefer personally Dragon Ball in English dub. I prefer Yu Yu Hakusho.
Dang, my guy, why are we sharing a brain cell? Is it because of Goku? Chibi. Is it because of Goku? Because that's literally like the main reason why I watch it in English dub. And then on top of that, it's the nostalgia factor. I watched like Dragon Ball and all those stuff. It's actually same with Inuyasha and Yu Yu Hakusho. I watched those in the actual dub before I watched them in the sub. So I'm more used to watching them in the dub. One Piece kind of being the exception. One Piece and Naruto because the dubs didn't catch up with the subs when they were like farther along in the story, so I switched over to sub and just kept watching from there. But yeah, dude, that's crazy. Some animes are better in dub. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I completely agree. There are not just some. There are probably quite a few that are like that. I would if you would really give it like a metric, I would say about like 30% of the animes out there probably would be better in dub, just like for how they sound. But 70% for me. And honestly, for me personally, probably like 70 to 80%, I like the sub more just because I'm more used to it. But hey, if you like dub, you like dub. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not too big of an issue for me.
English dub.
But damn, me and Chibi are literally sharing a brain cell.
In English dub. You get the point. There is anime that I legit do like in English, okay? Besides the Japanese audio. However,
most of the time, I like the sub.
The point of the matter is that to see the overwhelming amount of people that watches things in dub, but then accompany this with what we have seen in the last few years with just what's been happening to the anime culture itself and manga culture, there is definitely a correlation. And this correlation is there has been a massive influx of new watchers into the anime
that's exactly
and manga community.
And that's good. That's amazing.
The mainstream. It is never going back to that niche hobby
that
it once was.
Well, okay. Yes and no, because here's the thing. It's gotten really big in the social zeitgeist and in the public eye. People are watching, noticing, and aware of very popular animes like Dan to Dan, like Gachakuda, like Kaiju Number 8, all those series. Solo Leveling, you can include in there too. But you know what they're not talking about that still is kind of niche, and part of the reason why I still like really watching anime is you can find like these small gems that aren't being promoted by these big companies that, yeah, they're not big bombastic fight scenes or where they're like giving millions and millions of dollars to create the episodes. More simplistic. But it's very wholesome. It's very cute. There are really good moments here and there. Like, again, Togenaki seemed very fun. With You in the Rain seemed like a very good one. What were some other? There's Hikaru, the Summer Hikaru died, which we actually need to watch. Cleavates, that one seemed good. Like there are various series out there that I think will still remain in that little niche sector because they aren't getting the big name brand stamped on top of it with it. So take it as you will.
Let's kind of clear the air. Let's explain that. In the 80s, 90s, 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s, and even the late 2010s, okay? Right before Demon Slayer really kicked off, anime was still considered a niche hobby. It was a niche for...
I would say even before Demon Slayer, I would go into saying Naruto is what got it popular Naruto is what kicked it all off, but Demon Slayer is what made it is what like finally put the nail in the coffin in terms of it becoming mainstream or being a niche or being like more niche, because you still had a lot of people liking, a lot of people loved it and were watching, like even like guys and girls really liked Naruto and the story of it and the art style and everything about it. But then Demon Slayer came out and everyone turned into fanboys and girls for it. So that yes, Demon Slayer was the big recent one in recent years that like made everyone funnel into it. But before that, you had stuff like Naruto.
Form of entertainment. There was a big community, but not nowhere near what we
Yes,
have today.
exactly. There was a community,
it was
but
nowhere
nowhere
near what it is right now. And basically, the vast majority of people that viewed anime looked at anime as children's shows. They looked at it as cartoons. They looked at it as something meant for kids. They didn't view anime as something meant for adults. Now, obviously, I know how stupid that sounds, but
there's still a relative. I still think there is a relative opinion of that, especially with older generation to younger generations. Like anyone over the age of, I would say like 45 to 50, they might have a harder time understanding the popularity and the appeal of anime. Even older though, like the thing is, anime's been around since the 80s and shit like that, and even before that. So there are still definitely communities and like individuals within those generations that are very aware of it and have been fans of it for a long time. Don't get me wrong, but they were very niche, very small, and very far in between, to the point where like your general population did not understand it and had and still has this conception of what it should be or what they think it is.
That was what a lot of people viewed anime as for a very, very long time. Then you fast forward to the end of the 2010s, 2019, 2020, etc.
Yep, it starts to pick up.
And you have a bunch of new
COVID also did a lot for anime, I will say.
Because obviously there was a lot of free time with COVID. People were able to sit down and just start binging things. So they sat down, they watched Demon Slayer. They sat down, they watched AJK. They sat down, they watched, Chainsaw Man. You get the point. And this led into a lot of influx of new people.
Did the One Piece live action first season come out around then too? I can't quite remember.
Have experienced anime culture if not for them not having anything else to do, because they were not able to do anything and they could only stay home for a very long time around the world. A lot of people were like that. They sat and watched anime. So people that would have never have given a second glance or even a look at anime sat down and watched anime, which has evolved to where now anime has become very mainstream. Now I want to make sure this is very clear. There is good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Mainstream. Some of the good aspects of this is that certain projects that are really deserving of getting funding get funded. And they get some fantastic
Kaiju, Solo Leveling,
for instance,
all those.
Regardless of personal issues behind the scenes or what's under the hood with production issues or overworking of animators, etc., there has been more consistent or at least higher quality anime in the last 5 years than I think we've ever seen. However, in the last 5 years, we have probably seen some of the worst animation and art and production of any anime.
What is it? The Berserk anime that came out. Didn't another anime? Oh, there's Fist of the North Star is going to be getting a new anime adaptation that looks absolutely atrocious. Uzumaki had awful animation beginning after the end. Blue Lock season 2. Like there are still plenty of cases of like animes that, because they're not the big name animes, they can have like these issues here and there. But there are also plenty of ones that are, like I said before, amazing in terms of animation, story, everything like that. They're just not Dan to Dan. They're just not the new big hit type of anime, because not every anime can be one.
Anime in the history of anime, honestly, in the last 5 years. So there is some of the best highs we've ever seen and some of the lowest lows we've ever seen. I agree completely. Honestly, in terms of just how anime is made or how anime is presented. But what I will say is that despite the good, there is a lot of bad.
And we're also learning more about the industry too. We're learning about like how mangaka authors, their health declines. We learn about how animators for animes, they get paid very low wages and they work very extensive hours. It very much has become more of something that gets scrutinized about the practices of how anime is made too. Also, just adding that along with what he's saying.
And I've went on record and I've talked about this already in multiple videos, but I'm going to reiterate them right here. For one, the big issue about anime becoming mainstream, and it's the big elephant in the room, is that big companies that do not care about the culture of anime and manga 100%. Are going to look at it and see it as a money sign. We've already seen this.
I mean, you're going to see it in general. It's going to happen. I think there is still. He might actually touch about this right now. I might pause him right before he talks about it, but he. There have been a lot of quote unquote fads throughout anime and throughout the last recent years. One of the main ones being like isekais and shit like that. People got tired of it. It was like every new season there was like 5 new isekai that get released or something like that to like 12 new isekai, and the titles are an actual paragraph long and stuff like that. That's why I don't watch isekais anymore, generally speaking. A couple exceptions here and there, unless they're really unique. But that's what I mean. It has become more corporatized and more formulaic over the years. Before, you would have a lot of individualistic stories that would be released, and like there might be similarities between some of them here and there, but they do have some essence that is different, more or less. In other cases, nowadays it just seems like it's very formulaic and copy and paste type of thing.
It's already happening. I mean, Netflix is a good example of this. I mean, let's just look at this. Solo Leveling getting a live action.
Yeah, exactly.
One Piece getting a live action. You know, Bleach getting a live action. Death Note
Is
getting a live
really?
action. You get the
For
point,
Bleach?
okay? When you see these very popular franchises
Was
getting
that the one that was
live
recently
actions,
announced?
the reason why it's being done is because these companies, like say like Netflix, sees anime as profitable, and so they will put these series
Nice,
of the
nice,
culture
nice.
on like a skin suit, wear it, not understanding actually why people like anime or manga,
If you are,
or
let
these
me know.
series in general, and they'll wear it like a skin suit, slap the name of the series
Yeah,
on it,
exactly.
and think that it's going to sell. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And with how many of these
Most
live
times
actions
it
keep coming
hasn't
out,
been.
if it's not a money laundering scheme of some kind by Netflix or other companies, then legitimately there is a vast amount of people that legitimately are enjoying these live action adaptations, either through hate watching or not. And once again, looking
I
at the
can't believe
statistics
that.
of how
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of people watch anime and they even watch
I can't
it
believe
dub,
that one. Sorry.
I'm willing to bet a lot of these people are very silent watchers as well, probably love the live actions. And what this basically means is that there is a
I honestly hope not.
vast
I'm glad. I'm glad.
between the OG anime
I'm glad,
and
I'm
manga
glad.
community and the new community that is forming. A
Yes,
disconnect
yes.
between the OG anime and manga community and the
Yeah,
new
okay.
community that is forming. And these companies are using these products and these different things to just get as much money as possible and suck
yeah,
the
'cause
life out of the culture.
People like me that love One Piece, like for example, because there's the live action and everything, we really dedicate our time, our energy, our mentality to it. Same with other people with other series, how much they love them. So obviously they give a lot more scrutiny to these projects than your casual viewer that's never heard of these series, that's kind of just being introduced to anime and stuff like that. So they take it with a big grain of salt, basically. They give it a lot of leeway that a viewer that has been watching for years would not. Yes,
Of
yes.
anime and
Good
manga.
luck. What's the competition for?
Gotta look at the current state of Hollywood. Hollywood is in a disastrous state.
Yeah, no,
Anyone
it
that watches
is
movies
crashing
pays
and
attention
burning.
to it knows how much of a disaster
The recent
it is
Superman
currently.
movie?
They are
Oh my
fresh out of
gosh.
ideas, having to copy a lot of things, regurgitate things. It's terrible.
The fact that they're just taking like they were taking Marvel stuff for the longest time, just using that, and that was literally keeping a lot of the industry afloat. I will be real. The Marvel was keeping them afloat. Now it's starting to die off. People are kind of getting bored. It's getting very formulaic, super predictable, all this other stuff, and people just are sick of it. I said this for the longest time. You know what would be a really cool movie or a really cool thing for for Hollywood to do? Would be to take stories and folklore from other cultures and turn them into movies rather than just remaking what they already have. You know what we could have used? A feature-length Disney Pixar film about Anansi, or some Chinese mythology, like something like that. You could take other little things here and there and try and make a new story out of that, rather than just regurgitating the same shit. I'm not going to get into this whole rant again. I've done this so many times.
Terrible. And
Yeah,
when
exactly.
you take
That's
a
what I'm
hard look at
saying.
anime, it's fresh. It is. To a global audience, anime is fresh.
Anime is new. It's nice. It's
like
shiny.
In Hollywood they see anime's fresh. It's hit with the kids, new generation, and it's booming. So obviously they want to pick up all these different titles that are very big and get their own slice of the pie, turn them into a live action, which defeats the whole purpose of anime.
Yeah,
Now,
it
some
does.
things can be
But they're
good
trying
in live
to turn it
action,
into like a
but
Hollywood style
I
thing.
feel like it misses the point. The reason why anime became popular and these series became popular is because it's anime. It's because it's
Well,
manga. Live
I'd say yes. I have a feeling it's hard to recreate anime in live action for sure, but I think outside of that, it's also the story. Like people fall in love with the stories, the uniqueness of it. Like there really aren't too many Western shows or movies or stuff like that, cartoons, whatever cartoons, TV shows, live action or not, or even movies that are not like anime. Anime is truly something very different and very unique in every story. At least that's how it was initially. And the really popular ones are still like that, like Dan to Dan again, like all these other ones that are very, very eye catching, very unique. Something that people aren't used to because they've been watching Grey's Anatomy or The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives or some other reality TV show where they get bored of it, or they've been watching Marvel for the last 10 years and they're sick of watching the same superhero fights and the same superhero stuff happen over and over again. Dan to Dan, all this stuff is a lot different, and that's what people like. I think that can translate over to a live action correctly, as we've seen with One Piece. What matters is the continuity and keeping the story alive and what it's meant to be, translating it well into a live action. Not many do that because a lot of them are just cash grabs. One Piece is not a cash grab.
action kind of misses the point. And I think that in general, we are seeing an increase of these different companies just diving into the culture, not trying to understand
Have a good one.
and,
Thanks for
and
hanging
trying
out.
to change it, mold it into the new Hollywood. That's what it looks like to me. And I
I
feel
agree.
like a lot of people are
Yeah,
seeing this.
forcibly,
It's a
yes.
continuous thing. And when I take a hard look at the situation, it
It makes
me
you
sad
laugh.
because,
It makes
as
me
I already
laugh.
said, we
'Cause
are the
they're gonna-
minority. We are the minority now. It's very obvious. The old
fair.
anime
Yeah.
community that was pre-COVID,
Yeah.
we are small. We are like a dot in a giant circle now at this point. And it explains why there's so many issues that keep arising. Why there's so many
It's
people
actually a very good
that
point.
are
I didn't even think
hell-bent
about
on
that.
buzzwording you or calling you different.
Well, not only that, but I think it's also the fact that people that are going to be getting into anime now are into it for like the capitalistic and like cash grab mentality of it. You know, the people like me and Chibi, I guess you could say, the old anime heads. I've been watching stuff literally. I, I'm 28 now. I've honestly probably been watching it about 20 years, if not more, because I started watching like anime when it was on Toonami and on 4Kids and shit like that. Like I've been an anime fan for as long as I can remember, realistically. And yeah, I think there's just a different caliber or a different standard that you, as someone that's been watching it for so long, kind of holds it to. That's someone that's just getting into it, that sees all the shiny new animes and is like, oh, this is just how it is. It's like, no, that's not how it is. That's what it's become. But what it was before was different. Now, does it matter so much in the sense of like my opinion's more important than your opinion because I've been watching it longer? Not at all. Everyone's opinion does matter in this type of conversation, and the conversation about what's basically happening to anime as an industry and how it's being corporatized and what the good parts of it, the bad parts of it, and everything in between. That's what this whole conversation should be about, in my opinion.
Things if you watch.
And absolute, you two, trying to say that if not, yes. And I absolutely love the designs for Alta's live action, too. Oh, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen the designs for it yet. Old, I'm so sorry. You're, don't worry. I know I'm old. I was born this way. I was born in the 97s. It's okay. I get it. Unk Vizkin, I am the Unk. That is why I call myself the Purple Unk. I am an Unk. Not only in age, but in actuality, because I have a nephew. I am a real uncle. You whippersnappers best respect it. But yeah, I get it. It's more or less, it's one of those things that changes over time. And I'm not against it because it's not going to change how I watch anime. I'm still going to watch it in the sub unless like stuff starts changing because of that. Like I can't watch animes in subs and I have to watch them in dubs, then I'll be upset because I don't want to be forced to watch animes in one specific style. I don't think that was ever really the case of watching animes. No dirty to jail, unk to me. I'm literally 14. Oh well, yeah, exactly. See, I exactly.
Let's say Mushoku Tensei, for instance. It's because there are people that never cared about anime. They just watched it to dive into it because it became popular.
Well,
and they
yes,
don't care
but
actually about its history.
that's I don't like that take. That's like the elitist, like my opinion. I'm an old head. You should listen to me better. Like these kids don't know it. Listen, one anime has always been an escape for me. I'm assuming it's been an escape for Chibi here as well. During that time in COVID, and even just in general over the last few years, it has still been I don't think it's changed for the individual. You know what I mean? People still find it as an escape, the same way they find like regular television can be an escape from their lives. Not One Piece. I keep thinking of One Piece, but anime in general has always just been that for me, and I still think that's the case. Yes, they have been exposed to it during like the big boom, the big popularity of it where everyone's watching it now. But that's not a bad thing, especially if they're watching it because they love the stories. They're not just watching it because it's the new Labubu fad or something like that, you know? I can call you Unkviz if that's cool. Yeah, call me whatever you want, man. Call me Unkviz, whatever. That's cool.
Or
I don't
why
mind.
it is like it is, Japanese culture in general. They don't care. And it's sad to see anime in this state. It is really sad
Not for
to
me.
see anime.
I'm actually happy. I'll be real with you. So this is the thing. This is where we start to differentiate is our outlooks on it. He has a very like this is kind of bad outlook. My outlook is, hey, this is fine. Like this is just this is just how stuff goes. As time moves on, things change, and we're seeing one of them right here in front of us. But I definitely can get how there can be a little melancholy, I guess, about the fact that it has changed so much, and it's not going to be what I loved back in the day. It's not going to be like this little secret thing that gave me joy whenever I got home from school and maybe I had like a bad day or something like that and I just wanted something to kind of focus on and take my attention away from shit, you know? Like that's what anime was for me, and it still is. But just because that's that for me does not mean it has to be that way for everyone. And if it's not that way for everyone, that's perfectly fine. Like, let people enjoy the mediums that they want to enjoy the way they want to enjoy them, and that's all that matters for me. If I'm able to do that, I'm happy. I don't care if other people are watching it.
Evolving and becoming like...
Oh, hold on. Oh, to be honest, anime has gotten me through my toughest times, such as just to escape from reality, etc. I'm genuinely glad I got into anime back then. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Anime is literally one of those things that, and you're 14, dude. I'm 28. I'm like double your age. And I have the same feelings as you towards it, where it's given me so much light whenever I'm in dark moments and stuff like that. I've laughed, I've cried, I've cheered. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience, and being able to watch anime in the way that I have watched it over the years and see it grow and change. I was one of those people that was always like, anime is so good that I'm so surprised that more people aren't into it. And as it started, people got more into it. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. Like, more people are going to become more and more exposed to it. And the more they get exposed to it, the bigger of a name it's going to get. And we're seeing that happen right there. Still have those you do have people that stay and linger and become those dedicated fans.
Hollywood,
it takes a while though.
The next gaming community. That is what is becoming. And it
really
saddens me to see.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna leave it at that though. I know this isn't a good news this isn't good news to hear, but I wanted to talk about this because this was some crazy stuff I saw, especially these back-to-back.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a great video. Obviously, we have different end opinions, but we do see and have similar ideas and understandings of what's happening here and what has happened over the years with anime. This is why I love watching Chibi, because he truly loves anime. I know he loves anime just like I love anime, and I feel like he really puts his whole heart into these stories because they really mean stuff to him. He just like you, just like me, has had these moments that anime has really got him through his darkest times. And we love to see it. That's why I like watching these videos. And that's why we're going to keep watching his videos as they come out and when I see ones that I think would be good ones to cover. But that's going to be it for that. Yeah. Hey, what is up? You are an absolute legend if you made it this far in the video. I really appreciate it. And if you could just do me one more quick favor, hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps me out. I stream on Twitch Wednesdays to Saturdays starting around 12 p.m. EST. And yeah, there's plenty of crazy unhinged madness that goes on over there too. So I hope to see you there, and I'll catch you in the next video.